Criticism, it's something we all face, whether we want to or not. But how we choose to handle it defines who we are. Smart individuals, particularly those who follow Stoic principles, understand that criticism isn't something to fear. Instead, they see it as an opportunity for growth. In this video, we'll explore how Stoicism teaches us to respond to criticism with wisdom and composure. You'll learn how to manage your emotions, pause before reacting, and ultimately transform feedback into a tool for personal and professional development. Let's dive into 7 powerful ways to turn criticism into wisdom. Before you get started, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the alarm so you don't miss out on the next video add-ons. That gives us more motivation to continue sharing interesting knowledge with you. 1. Separate emotion from fact. Have you ever felt that sudden rush of emotion when someone criticizes your work? It's as if the walls close in, your heart races, and anger or hurt bubbles up before you even have a chance to process what's being said. What if I told you that these emotions, while natural, don't have to control your actions? Smart individuals have learned to separate emotion from fact, giving themselves the space to respond with wisdom rather than impulsivity. Criticism is inevitable, and while it often stings in the moment, Stoic philosophy teaches us that emotions are fleeting. Seneca wisely remarked, "It's not emotions that are the problem, it's letting them dictate our actions." In today's fast-paced world, where feedback comes at us from every direction, whether through social media comments, professional reviews, or personal conversations, this insight is more relevant than ever. The ability to step back and detach from the emotional surge allows us to make clear, rational decisions, especially in professional settings, where emotional outbursts can damage relationships or careers. Think about a time when someone criticized something you deeply cared about, a project you worked on for months, or a decision you felt strongly about. Your immediate reaction might have been to defend yourself, to feel hurt, or even lash out. But what if, instead of letting that momentary emotion define your response, you paused? Taking a step back helps you distinguish between what you feel and what is true. The criticism was directed at your work, not your worth as a person. This separation is crucial. Now, ask yourself, how many times have emotions clouded your ability to see the facts? What would happen if, in those moments, you could pause and reflect before reacting? By allowing space between emotion and response, you invite clarity, calm, and ultimately, growth. Next time you receive criticism, take a deep breath. Pause. Remind yourself that emotions are temporary, and while it's okay to feel, you are in control of how you act. By doing this, you'll not only handle criticism with grace, but also engage with it in a way that promotes learning and self-improvement. The immediate benefit of this practice is profound. By separating emotion from fact, you liberate yourself from the emotional turbulence that often accompanies criticism. You gain perspective and control, transforming a potentially negative experience into one that fosters personal growth and stronger relationships. Isn't that worth the effort? So the next time someone's words hit you hard, take a moment before responding. Share your thoughts. Has pausing before reacting helped you manage criticism more wisely? Let's create a space where we grow together, mastering the art of turning criticism into wisdom, just as the Stoics intended. 2. Pause before responding. How often have you found yourself regretting a quick, emotional response to criticism? In the heat of the moment, our instinct is often to defend ourselves, but what if there was a smarter way to respond? Imagine the clarity and composure we could achieve if we simply paused before reacting. By taking a moment to breathe, we can avoid unnecessary conflict and instead engage with criticism thoughtfully and productively. In today's fast-paced society, where immediate reactions, whether in meetings or on social media, are expected, the simple act of pausing can set us apart. We live in a world where misunderstandings quickly escalate, fueled by emotional responses that often do more harm than good. But what if we took the time to reflect, giving ourselves the mental space to respond with reason rather than impulse? For example, imagine you're in a meeting and a colleague criticizes your approach. Instead of jumping to defend your position, take a breath, listen fully, and allow yourself time to process. This not only gives you a clearer perspective, but also signals that you value the input of others. Have you ever found yourself regretting an impulsive reply? What would happen if you trained yourself to pause and reflect before responding? A practical way to start is by counting to 10 or taking a deep breath when faced with criticism. This practice creates a crucial gap between stimulus and reaction, allowing emotions to settle and your rational mind to take control. Over time, you'll find that this habit gives you the power to manage even the most challenging situations with poise. By choosing to pause before responding, you gain a sense of relief and control that is immediately noticeable. No longer driven by the rush of emotions, you're free to respond wisely and effectively. It's in this pause that we find the space to make decisions that earn us respect and strengthen our relationships, both personally and professionally. As Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, wisely observed, "It's not what happens that disturbs us, but how we interpret it." The pause gives us the opportunity to change our interpretation, allowing us to grow rather than react. The next time you find yourself facing criticism, commit to pausing before you respond. Let this moment of reflection transform the way you interact with others, helping you rise above the noise and respond with wisdom. Share your experience with this practice and see how it leads to more meaningful conversations and a deeper sense of personal control. 3. Look for the truth in criticism. Criticism is something we all face, whether we like it or not. But have you ever wondered if the harsh words of others might actually hold valuable insights? It's easy to take feedback personally, letting it affect our emotions, but those who are wise know that within every critique lies the potential for growth. Instead of dismissing criticism, they embrace it, seeing it as a stepping stone to self-improvement. In a world where opinions come from every direction, be it from colleagues, friends, or social media strangers, having the ability to search for truth in feedback is an essential skill. Imagine a scenario where a colleague points out a flaw in your communication. Your immediate response might be to feel defensive, but what if instead you asked yourself, "Is there truth in this? Can I improve?" By adopting this mindset, you turn an uncomfortable moment into an opportunity to grow. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, reminds us, "Embrace the truth, even if it's painful, because it helps you grow." This Stoic wisdom invites us to look beyond the surface of criticism, finding the lessons that lead to self-betterment. The next time criticism comes your way, don't react out of emotion. Take a breath, write it down, and examine it with a clear mind. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? By doing so, you'll free yourself from the weight of defensiveness, and instead, find a path to continuous improvement. In this process, you become not only more resilient, but also a wiser and stronger version of yourself. Now, reflect on a recent piece of criticism you've received. How will you use it to grow? Let's make a commitment to embracing the truth in every critique, just as the Stoics did. 4. Detach from the ego. Have you ever noticed how you react when someone critiques your work? Do you feel an immediate need to defend yourself, even if the feedback could help you improve? This reaction stems from the ego, an instinctive drive that makes us view criticism as a personal attack. However, truly wise people understand that their ego is often the biggest obstacle to growth. They learn to detach from it, recognizing that not every critique is an assault on their character. Instead, it's an opportunity for self-improvement. In today's world, criticism is unavoidable, whether in professional settings, personal relationships, or online interactions. Yet, the way we handle it defines our progress. Most of the time, our ego tricks us into feeling threatened, making it difficult to accept feedback. Imagine a situation where a colleague points out a flaw in your work. Your first instinct might be to defend yourself or even dismiss their words. But what if, instead of protecting your ego, you paused, detached emotionally, and viewed the criticism objectively? This is the power of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us the art of separating our sense of self from our ego. As Stoics say, the ego is the greatest obstacle to progress. The next time you face criticism, take a moment before responding. Ask yourself, is this my ego talking? Remember, personal growth is far more valuable than a bruised ego. By setting aside the emotional need to protect yourself, you can uncover wisdom in feedback that will help you grow. The moment you detach from the ego, you'll experience a sense of freedom. Instead of feeling hurt or attacked, you'll find yourself empowered, able to use every critique as a stepping stone towards self-improvement. Challenge yourself. The next time someone offers feedback, don't react defensively. Commit to viewing it as an opportunity for growth. Share your reflections and notice the profound impact this simple shift in mindset can have on your life. 5. Practice gratitude for feedback. At times, the unexpected can shape our path in ways we didn't anticipate. For example, think back to a moment when you received feedback that felt harsh at first, but later turned into a catalyst for your growth. What if every piece of criticism, no matter how uncomfortable, could be viewed as a stepping stone to becoming a better version of yourself? Smart individuals recognize that feedback, whether positive or negative, is a gift meant to guide them towards self-improvement. In the rush of daily life, it's easy to overlook the value of criticism. Modern work environments often demand quick results and fast evaluations, which means feedback can feel abrupt or even harsh. But instead of shying away from it, imagine the power of responding with a simple "thank you." This response not only helps to neutralize any defensiveness, but also shifts your focus toward growth. When we embrace criticism, we unlock the potential to refine our skills and character. Let's shift our perspective for a moment. Imagine you've just completed a major project at work, and your supervisor highlights some areas that need improvement. The initial reaction may be one of disappointment. But instead of feeling discouraged, how would your growth trajectory change if you viewed these comments as an opportunity for development? The discomfort we feel often highlights the exact areas where we have the greatest potential to grow. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, encouraged us to welcome every event, even criticism, as an essential part of our personal evolution. Reflect on this for a moment. When was the last time someone pointed out your weaknesses? Did you take the feedback constructively, or did you feel the urge to defend yourself? Consider how much further you might have gone if you had embraced that feedback with gratitude. The next time someone critiques your work, try pausing for a moment, breathing deeply, and simply saying, "Thank you." This simple shift in approach could fundamentally change your mindset, enabling you to see feedback as a tool for continuous improvement. When you make a habit of being grateful for feedback, you create a profound sense of inner freedom. You're no longer weighed down by feelings of inadequacy or frustration. Instead, you can focus on progress, aligning your mindset with the Stoic philosophy that every challenge, including criticism, holds the potential for growth. Now, as you reflect on how to handle your next piece of feedback, ask yourself, will you resist it, or will you welcome it as a chance to elevate your personal and professional life? 6. Consider the source. In a world where opinions are thrown at us from every direction, it can be challenging to determine which voices truly deserve our attention. Amid this noise, wise individuals stand apart by applying discernment, knowing that not every critique carries the same weight. They understand that the value of feedback is tied to its source, allowing them to remain focused and grow without being dragged down by irrelevant opinions. Each day we're bombarded with feedback, whether from social media, colleagues, or strangers. But should every opinion influence us? Not necessarily. For instance, if someone who lacks knowledge or expertise in your field criticizes your work, it's worth asking, does this person have the experience to provide valuable insight? This approach allows you to filter out the unhelpful and focus on the feedback that truly matters. Think back to a time when you felt undermined by unfounded criticism. Perhaps you poured effort into a project only for someone uninformed to judge it. It's in these moments that the wise pause. Instead of reacting immediately, they consider the source. Is the critic experienced, or are they speaking from a place of ignorance? As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, listen to the wise, not every opinion is worth your attention. So the next time you encounter criticism, resist the urge to respond impulsively. Take a breath, evaluate the credibility of the critic, and ask whether their words carry real weight. By doing this, you will free yourself from unnecessary frustration and focus on feedback that will actually help you improve. In the end, recognizing which criticisms are worth your energy brings mental clarity and strength. By selectively heeding those with the wisdom to guide us, we shield ourselves from unnecessary distractions and keep our minds focused on growth and progress. Don't let every voice sway you. Choose wisely and let your growth be driven by insight, not noise. 7. Use criticism to sharpen your skills. In the pursuit of personal excellence, moments of discomfort often signal the beginning of real growth. When faced with criticism, do you find yourself shrinking back, or do you seize the opportunity to sharpen your skills? Instead of seeing feedback as discouraging, those who understand the true value of critique use it as a powerful tool for self-improvement. Criticism is not a personal attack. It's an invitation to refine and elevate oneself, to transform weaknesses into strengths. In every aspect of life, from the workplace to our personal relationships, we encounter feedback that can either build us or break us. Yet, those with a Stoic mindset recognize that the sharpest growth often comes from the hardest blows. Seneca once said, "Growth comes from being shaped, and criticism is the chisel that sharpens us." Just as a skilled artisan molds a masterpiece, we too must allow the words of others to shape our skills and character. Consider the last time someone pointed out a flaw in your performance. Perhaps it was a comment on your organizational skills or your approach to problem solving. At first, it might have stung, but beneath that discomfort lay an opportunity to improve. When viewed from the right perspective, criticism is nothing more than a guide, pointing out areas that can be refined for future success. To truly grow, take criticism as a practical tool. The next time someone critiques your efforts, pause and reflect on their words. Write down specific points of improvement and develop a clear plan to address them. Whether it's mastering time management through new techniques or enhancing communication with mindful practices, the path forward is illuminated by the very critiques that seem harsh at first glance. By embracing criticism, you gain more than just improved skills. You gain resilience and freedom from the fear of judgment. No longer will others' opinions hold you back. Instead, you'll learn to wield feedback as a tool for your continued development. The immediate benefit? You become sharper, more effective, and more confident in your abilities. Now, take a moment to think. How can the last piece of feedback you received be used to sharpen your abilities? Start with one small, actionable step and commit to growth. The process may be challenging, but the rewards of embracing criticism will make you stronger and more capable than before. Now that I've shared 7 ways smart people deal with criticism, it may seem a little abstract, but let me bring it to life with a real-life example from Taylor Swift. As you listen to her story, you'll see that these principles have real-life value for you as well. If you agree, feel free to comment. I'll take her as my inspiration. Thank you. Now let's explore this inspiring and real-life story together. A prime example of a celebrity who navigated public criticism wisely is Taylor Swift, particularly during her well-known feud with Kanye West in 2016. The incident began when Kanye West released his song Famous, which included controversial lyrics referencing Taylor. This sparked a media firestorm, with many fans and critics weighing in on the matter. While Taylor initially responded at the 2016 Grammy Awards, she then chose to step back from the public eye, avoiding any further escalation. This was a strategic move. Taylor didn't immediately react emotionally or engage in a public back and forth, showing her ability to separate emotion from fact. Instead of letting the controversy consume her, she took time to gather her thoughts and process the situation, exemplifying the principle of pausing before responding. During this time, Taylor faced intense scrutiny and criticism online, with social media users dissecting every move she made. Rather than focusing on the noise, Taylor appeared to take the high road, choosing to consider the source of criticism. She didn't allow unfounded or uninformed opinions to influence her actions, but likely sought guidance from trusted sources. Behind the scenes, Taylor was reworking her image and reflecting on how this public scrutiny could shape her next moves. Her eventual response was not a direct rebuttal, but a creative one. She released her album, Reputation, in 2017. Through this album, she addressed public perception, media narratives, and her personal experiences in a way that allowed her to regain control of the conversation. This is an example of how she used criticism to sharpen her skills. Instead of being paralyzed by negativity, she channeled the energy into her music, refining her artistry and using her platform to tell her side of the story. By choosing not to react impulsively, Taylor demonstrated an ability to detach from the ego. She understood that the situation was not an attack on her worth as a person, but a media spectacle that she could navigate thoughtfully. Over time, Taylor's calm and measured approach not only helped her weather the storm, but also allowed her to emerge stronger, both personally and professionally. Through this experience, Taylor Swift proved that facing criticism with intelligence, patience, and creativity can turn even the harshest backlash into an opportunity for growth. Her journey from public scrutiny to the release of Reputation is a testament to her resilience and strategic mindset in handling criticism. Smart individuals cultivate habits that not only enhance their professional success, but also maintain a balanced personal life. One of the key behaviors they avoid is engaging in meaningless interactions and gossip. Instead of wasting time on shallow conversations, they focus on discussions that bring value and insight. This mindful approach helps them conserve energy and time, which they can invest in more important matters. They also steer clear of willful ignorance. Smart people are lifelong learners, always open to expanding their knowledge and understanding. They recognize that growth comes from seeking out new information and pushing beyond their comfort zones. By constantly learning, they ensure that they stay ahead in both personal and professional settings. Conformity for the sake of fitting in is another trap that smart individuals avoid. They don't simply follow the crowd. Instead, they critically evaluate the situation and make decisions based on their own values and beliefs. This independence allows them to maintain their integrity and stand out as authentic, confident individuals. When faced with criticism, they don't take it personally. Instead of letting emotions cloud their judgment, they view feedback as an opportunity for improvement. This objective mindset allows them to extract lessons from every situation without feeling personally attacked. Likewise, they avoid getting bogged down by problems. Rather than dwelling on obstacles, they focus on finding solutions and moving forward. This proactive approach keeps them resilient and forward-thinking. Smart individuals also welcome feedback and constructive criticism, understanding that it's essential for personal growth. They never shy away from opportunities to improve themselves and embrace input from others to sharpen their skills. They also keep their emotions in check, ensuring that rational thinking drives their decisions. This ability to stay calm and level-headed is key to making sound choices, especially in high-pressure situations. Moreover, they are selective with the media they consume. They avoid massive media consumption and echo chambers, preferring to engage with diverse viewpoints to avoid being trapped in a bubble of biased information. This critical approach to media helps them stay well-informed and objective. Personal development is a top priority for them. They consistently seek ways to grow and enhance their abilities, whether through learning new skills or reflecting on their experiences. Lastly, they are cautious with risks, avoiding unnecessary dangers that could derail their progress. They take calculated risks, always weighing the potential outcomes before acting. In summary, smart individuals have a unique way of navigating life by avoiding behaviors that drain their time, energy, and potential. By staying focused on meaningful interactions, continuous learning, and personal growth, they set themselves up for long-term success and fulfillment. To recap, we've explored 7 powerful ways that smart people, guided by Stoic principles, handle criticism. From separating emotion from fact, pausing before reacting and looking for the truth, to detaching from the ego, practicing gratitude, considering the source, and using criticism to sharpen their skills. Each of these approaches helps us turn criticism into a tool for growth and self-improvement. Remember, criticism doesn't have to be an obstacle. By embracing Stoicism, you can transform feedback into a stepping stone toward wisdom, resilience, and a better version of yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please comment with the number 1, and don't forget to share and subscribe for more Stoic insights. Let's continue this journey of growth together.